Welcome to Inside Sailing, the show that takes you on board for some of the most unique sailing experiences at the world's top regattas. In our previous episode of Inside Sailing, we had the chance to attend the penultimate event of the 2018 GC32 Racing Tour. We then visited one of the most established sailing venues in the world, Cascais in Portugal, for the 2018 RC44 World Championships. Finally, we took in one of Asia's most prestigious foiling regattas, the Shanghai Cup. We continue with the GC32 Racing Tour, and in this episode, we'll find out who will be crowned the 2018 Series Champion. We then start our 3,542-mile journey from France to Guadeloupe for the 2018 Route de Rhum. We fly to New York for the J70 World Championships, and finally we pump our kites at the Kitefall Gold Cup in Weifang, China. Toulon in the south of France hosted the 2018 GC32 Racing Tour's finale, the GC32 TPM Med Cup. Supported by Toulon Provence Méditerranée and the city of Toulon, this fifth event of the season would decide who amongst the teams would be crowned the 2018 GC32 Racing Tour champions and who would be lifting the Owner-Drivers Trophy. Starting the final event with a 7-point lead, Norauto were the obvious favourites to win the overall title, whilst trailing them in second with the defending GC32 Racing Tour champions, Real Team from Switzerland. However, the fight for the Owner-Drivers Trophy was a lot closer. Jason Carroll's Argo started the event in Toulon leading, but with only a narrow 2-point advantage over Eric Maris's Zulu and Simon Hull's Frank Racing.
We're pretty pleased that we're up there in the fight. So we weren't sure that we were going to be able to keep up with these guys. So I think they're sailing more consistently than us, and we have our moments. So I think for us, the secret for us is just try not to make the mistakes and have the bad races, minimise the bad races, and try and be more consistent. So.
Toulon saw a very local addition to the fleet, the Metropole Toulon Provence Méditerranée, skippered by French youth match racing champion Robin Furner. He and his young crew represented France at the Red Bull Youth America's Cup in Bermuda and are now looking forward to racing against the best.
Our team is from the Red Bull Youth America's Cup. We were in Bermuda last year with Team Frangène, the youth team of Frank Hamas. So we are really happy to be here because this year we built alone our project. We found our partner with TPM, and it's a quite good opportunity for us because we can fight with now some skipper like Frank Hamas, Ben Hensley, some other one. So no, we are really happy to take part, and it's an honor for us. Yes.
The night before the start of the regatta, a storm passed through the marina. The The winds had abated off the Côte d'Azur, but sadly the sea state on the Rade de Toulon was considered too large for the nimble flying catamarans to race safely. The principal race officer decided to abandon racing on the opening day of the GC32 TPM Med Cup.
We've had a really testing day. Big storms went through yesterday. The wind strength today and the forecasts have been very good, but our biggest issue is the sea state, and we have 2-metre swells from the east coming in, and that's creating two issues. One issue for mooring of the boats in the harbour, which is why we've been hesitant to put the boats in the water with the cranes, and secondly, the sea state on the race area is quite marginal right now.
Toulon was in an entirely different mood on day 2. Out on the water, the star of the day was unquestionably Ben Ainsley and his Ineos Team UK, who won 3 consecutive races. However, the day will perhaps be best remembered with the dramatic dismasting of Real Team. In the opening race, they made the best start and took the lead, only for drama to strike on the second downwind leg. With no one injured on board, the Shore team set to work, and overnight they managed to repair the boat so that it was back to challenge for a podium place on day 3.
I think our technical crew did a great job this night because they didn't sleep at all to fix the mast. So we're pretty happy to go back on the water today. And for sure the first race we didn't push too much because we have to check the mast if everything was okay, and then we feel confident and can push more and win 1 race, so it was great.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, et go!
Norauto fought back on day 3, winning 2 races, recovering some lost ground, but with large seas rolling into the Rade de Toulon's open southeasterly side, preventing racing on the final day, Ben Ainsley's Ineos Team UK were crowned the winners by 13 points after 10 races. This also elevated Ineos Team UK to 2nd place overall in the 2018 GC32 Racing Tour rankings, despite having missed May's inaugural World Championships on Lake Garda.
We've had a great event here in Toulon with the GC32s. For us, it's our 4th event as a team coming into this series, and so we've been developing through the season, and so it's really nice to end off on a high with a win, and it feels like our team has progressed a lot through the season, bringing lots of different sailors in our America's Cup squad through to this foiling multi-hull, and great preparation for that and for us as a team.
Jason Carroll and his Argo team, despite the indifferent performance in Toulon, managed to claim the top spot in the GC32 Racing Tour's ultra-competitive overall owner-driver leaderboard for 2018. They also won the Anonymous Speed Challenge at the GC32 TPM Med Cup with an average speed of 28.97 knots, the highest speed recorded this year.
Great year for us in the GC32 Racing Tour, and as a owner-driver class, we were super happy to be able to compete against all these great teams and to take the overall lead for the year for the owner-drivers. So it was a great opportunity for us to do it this year and last year, and yeah, very happy overall with the year. This regatta was quite windy and quite wavy, and it was basically just get around that dry mark as fast as we could, as smooth as we could, and we managed to keep going fast the whole time. So we ended up with the top speed, and yeah, it was good.
The overall winner of the 2018 GC32 Racing Tour was Norauto, powered by Team France. Frank Camus's team not only is the first to win the GC32 Racing Tour twice, having first taken the title in 2016, but they also won an Anonimo Nautilo bronze bi-colour timepiece.
We enjoyed to do this year again, as expected, and it's a very good series. I'm proud to be in front of this fleet. We were consistent this year, even if we don't win every time, but it's always a good fight, good battles. This is important for the class to have this level, and it's why we want to continue and to keep focus on this class. I think it's a very good class to improve and to keep the skills for flying boat.
So let's have a look at the overall results of the 2018 GC32 Racing Tour at the end of the season. The 2018 tour concluded with Frank Camus again proving his vast experience in multi-hulls. In 2010, the Frenchman with his racing sailing trimaran Groupama 3 won one of the most demanding regattas, which takes place every 4 years, the Route de Rome. Now let's move to France, as the Route de Rome destination Guadeloupe solo transatlantic race got underway in spectacular style off the Brittany port of St. Malo. The 3,542 nautical mile race to Pointe-à-Pitre in Guadeloupe is one of the top races in the professional solo ocean racing calendar, and this 40th anniversary edition included a record entry of 123 skippers in 6 classes from 11 countries, with a total of 23 non-French sailors taking part.
This is the big one. This is the one that I've been waiting for all year, and I've got some good miles on the boat, so I know the boat well. But it's going to be a very, very tough race. It's I don't know what's going to be out there over the horizon, and I can only imagine it's going to be tricky with the big waves and a lot of gusts. Some very strong winds. So all I'm looking forward to though is getting out there and getting closer to the tropics and getting closer to the finish.
Jeremy is a big contender, Vincent Rieu is a big contender, Yann Elias, he's a big contender too, so I think they'll be the big ones.
The gun fired at 2 o'clock local time, and after a very conservative start with no one wanting to be over the line early at the beginning, the fastest boats quickly opened up the throttle. The fleet is led by the 6-strong all-time class of giant foiling trimarans, which are looking to break the outright 7-day race record. It also includes a 20-strong division of IMOCA monohulls and an unprecedented participation by Class 40 monohulls, with 53 entered. The Route de Rome destination Guadeloupe almost always features rough weather in the early stages, as the skippers head out into the English Channel and then cross the Bay of Biscay, as they then look to sail south to hook into the trade winds that'll take them to the Caribbean. At the front of the fleet, the awesome old-time trimarans, led by Seb Joss on Maxi Solo Edmund de Rothschild, were hitting 30 knots of boat speed. The fastest racing yachts on the planet were soon flying their windward hulls as they rampaged towards the mandatory gate of Cap Friel, 17 miles from the start, where thousands of spectators were gathered on the headland. Among those in their wake were the leading IMOCA monohulls, showing their paces with foils lifting the boats from the water, and they were followed by the huge Class 40 fleet in what has been the most competitive race in that class's history. The predictions are for big seas, 35-knot winds gusting to 55 knots, and a weather picture showing very unstable conditions.
the real priority is to keep the boat safe in one piece and not to take any risks for the first few days, because it's going to be very windy and it's going to be tough just to get through the big depression and to get south.
During the following weeks, the skippers will be tested to their limits on their way to Guadeloupe, and Inside Sailing will be back with the best moments and maybe a new record. After sailing the Atlantic Ocean, we now move further west and to Marblehead in the United States for a really demanding regatta. Established in 1870, Eastern Yacht Club has hosted numerous major sailing events over the years, attracting many sailing legends as club members. This time, the American sailing Mecca welcomes the J70 World Championships.
Eastern has hosted many World Championships going back into the decades, over the 30s, 40s, and through the 60s and 70s. But the level of competition here perhaps would top them all. We're very happy to be hosting the 2018 West Marine J70 World Championships.
More than 90 teams from 19 different countries came to compete. Among them were the 2017 World Champions, who were back to defend their title.
We're here in Marblehead in an incredibly talented and tough fleet. Our goals are always, we look to try to win every time we go out. We know that this is going to be a terrific, a really tough event because the competition is so strong and the talent is so good.
With such an impressive fleet and an abundance of talent and racing pedigree, watching this year's races was to be a true spectacle.
Competitive level is outstanding. As far as we're aware, we have everyone from Olympic gold medalists, at least 15 national champions. We have over 30 people who've competed in the Olympics. We have Volvo Ocean racers. So we're really feeling the heat here as a team from the UK.
The J70 has long been a race boat of choice for many pro sailors, having one of the largest number of owners amongst all of the sailing classes.
Most people can handle the boat quite well. The J70 is very portable, easy to trail and launch, which is why it's become so popular in Europe, on the Swiss and Austrian and German lakes.
By the middle of the championship, we'd seen some great performances, most notably by Team Leticia from Spain. Solid results and consistent performances put them at the top of the leaderboard. However, after 11 races over 4 intense days with inconsistent weather, the experienced fleet wouldn't allow anyone to pull clear. More than 7 teams were in with a chance of finishing on the podium as we approached the final day of racing.
With 3 races left, there's probably, I haven't looked at the results yet, but I'm sure there's 7 or 10 boats that can win. So it's far from over. It's wide open. The points are very close, for the top 7 boats or so. So it's going to be a fight.
With the first 3 teams separated by just 3 points, anyone could claim victory. The last day included much anticipation as the teams waited for the winds to come in. In the end, due to the light winds, the races were abandoned, and it was Team Africa who were crowned the 2018 World Champions.
Yeah, an amazing week. I mean, we're not disappointed we didn't race today. It's too bad for our competitors. The other 90 boats probably wanted to race probably more than we did. It was going to be a tough racing no matter what. So, you know, it's been a hard week. You know, for Marblehead, it's more breeze than we usually get, and it was very shifty. Yesterday was really challenging.
Now let's take a look at the final standings. This year's J70 World Championships had it all, from sailing legends to rising stars going head-to-head in a variety of challenging weather conditions. Neck-and-neck battles are part of the course for the most high-performance sailing races. However, speaking of speed and intensity, kitefoil is in a class of its own. China hosted the first stop of the 2018 Kitefoil World Series in Weifang. Thanks to the support of the local government and sponsors, the winners were rewarded with a total prize money package of €60,000, by some margin the richest in kiteboarding. British racer Connor Bainbridge opened his account at the Kitefoil World Series in style, with a trio of wins that gave him the leaderboard's top spot.
First day was, we weren't really expecting any wind, being in China, but it came through and it was windy from the morning. So we're out on 15 metres, which is kind of playing to my strengths. It's probably my favourite kite size and probably my favourite conditions out there today. Yeah, so we're pretty stoked to come home with 3 wins.
Connor kept his lead until day 4. Monaco's Maxime Notcher took the lead then after securing 4 wins from 7 on the competition's penultimate day that was packed with drama and proved costly for his rivals. At the same time in the women's group, for the first time racing with the men, 2-time Formula Kite World champion Daniela Moroz sat in the middle of an extremely strong fleet and was learning a lot.
It's been really fun racing against the guys, and I always learn so much because that's how you have to learn new things, is you have to race against people that are better than you, and you have to train against people that are better than you. And so I think I'm just learning a lot, and I love learning more.
Maxime Notcher managed to maintain the lead till the final day of the event. Nico Parlier pushed Notcher till the end by scoring 3 out of 3 bullets, but that was only good enough to take 2nd place, leaving Connor Bainbridge in 3rd.
I was quite happy because I finished 3rd at the World like 2 weeks before, and I managed to win this event with all the top riders, so I'm super stoked. And yeah, that's the tour, so we are 3 more stops, and I'm going to manage to make all and up to winning everything, so we will see.
In this episode of Inside Sailing, we had the chance to witness the hottest action from some of the world's most famous regattas, the likes of the GC32 Racing Tour, the Route de Rhum, the J70 World Championships and the Kaifor Gold Cup. The action will continue in our next episode, so stay tuned and don't miss it.